Start recording. So welcome to the fourth. Are we now? Fourth
Is it fourth?
EQD
It's a
community
number higher than
podcast.
three.
It's a number higher than three. I think that's four. Last I checked.
Yeah, there you
Um,
go.
and today we've got Sky and Rainbow backwards with us. Um,
Rainbow backwards. Not even calling him Wob.
the people will get it.
People
And
get it.
we're going to be talking about Equestria Girls today. Um,
And there goes everyone.
all of our viewership just gone. The three people who listen have now just left. Um,
Yeah.
so we'll start with some introductions. Spone, you wanna start us off, or should I?
I mean, I always let you start it off.
Okay, then I'm gonna attack Sky. So you're on the first one, Sky. But we're gonna go a bit more in depth since there's only like two other people here. So first of all, when did you first start watching ponies?
Um, Summer of 2012, I'm pretty sure. I already told us last time, but yeah,
Last time being like over a month ago.
yeah, over a month ago. This is fine.
So
I talked about it when everybody else was talking about it. Why don't you remember?
Vindicate me.
what
Uh,
what made you start watching it? What brought you towards the show?
Exposure to fandom music and some of the show music itself. Mainly through a Gary's mod server that was steadily getting invaded by bronies back in the day.
Yeah, okay. That's understandable.
Hang on. 2012, and you were being exposed to music. What were you being exposed to?
The original Pony songs, mostly acoustic brony.
Okay.
As well as I believe they're called Remake now, the acoustic brony channel, and some of the really early fandom musicians. Ugh,
All right, fair
the
enough. I thought you were talking about like show music, and I was like,
oh no.
2012. What kind of show music was there?
There
Well,
was
yeah,
some good
there
stuff.
was
As
there
soon as
was
Winter Wrap Up was aired, that was it.
Okay, yeah. Winter wrap up. I'll give you that. All the other ones, though, debatable.
there was also the Fluttershy remixes of her and the Yay the louder thing.
Oh god,
Yeah.
There were a lot of those.
yeah, I can remember them.
All right, ask him. Go. Hurry.
So yeah, okay. So Equestria Daily, Equestria Daily. What brought you here? What made you a mod? What made you an ad? How did you end up where you are right now in this
Oh
podcast?
God. Okay. So I've been lurking the Equestria Daily website for quite a while. I started visiting it shortly after watching half the seasons of the show, and I googled it up, and one of the first results that came up, aside from a couple of wiki things, were Equestria Daily. So I started frequenting the website, reading articles, mostly watching the art posts. I used to really like checking out art back then. And as for the server becoming mod and admin now, it's all tied to the previous community that used to own the Equestria Daily Discord. I joined them when I figured out that most of my friends are not interested in pony things, so I joined up
That's
this
complete
community.
bullshit. You need new
Yeah,
friends.
to like try and get some people who I can talk to about this show and play games with. And the old community Friendship is Gaming basically got assimilated by Equestria Daily after about a year and a half. It was 2016 February, if I'm not mistaken. And I got recruited as moderator back then. It was quite a hell of a experience for half a year trying to keep the newly converted chat safe. And one thing led to another, and I got promoted to an admin. So now I'm head of moderation for community side, so forums and Discord.
You were just that good of a mod. They wanted more of you.
Maybe.
Nah, he was just around the most.
Yeah. I'm just around.
Okay, so we're gonna throw a couple more questions your way. Just show based. What's your favorite? Who's your favorite pony?
What's your favorite pony?
What is? Yeah, my favorite pony is Sunset Shimmer.
It's not a pony.
That is very relevant to the current topic, I would assume.
Yeah,
That's not a pony, Sky. Come on.
yes.
No, you.
No, you. All right, fair enough. NG, keep going. You got this.
Yeah, okay. We'll go more into that later, I guess. What is your favorite episode and why?
Oh, okay. I suppose my all-time favorite episode would be the first episode with Ember. I believe it's called Gauntlet of Fire,
Yeah.
and it's my favorite because it's a very good Spike episode. I love the little guy, even though he's like a real big punching bag for the show. And I really love the dynamic between him and Ember. The all the dragon lore. I really like dragons.
Yeah, that's
And
actually
Sounds like Sky.
yeah,
that's the
it has
first
some really good
person
art.
I've heard say that. Like, I appreciate the unique answer. Everyone just says perfect pair or some shit. So
Perfect pair. I like Twilight's Kingdom.
I mean, yeah, Perfect Pair is a good episode. Just it's an overall good episode. That one was just one that really appealed to me and what I like about the show, and that's the very adventurous nature that it sometimes shows.
and that's what I like about it. That's why I like when everyone has a different favorite episode because it shows the different aspects of the show and the different parts that attract people. But yeah. So moving on, just to a final question: what's your favorite song in the show?
Oh. Okay, well now you put
Getting
me in the
into the
spot.
fandom, loving the music, not having a favorite song. The ideal line of questioning.
I really can't pick one. Am I allowed to pick from Equestria Girls?
Why
Yes.
Or is it just purely show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just do the show for now. We can do a question guys later.
Just a show. I really don't know. There's a lot of them I really like and a lot of them I don't like.
It's at the gala, isn't it?
I don't think I know a song. I really don't know any of them off the top of my head that just stand out over the rest. I can't really give
can't do
you
this.
Just
an
say
Tracking.
a song that you act like that you don't hate.
Say a song that you don't hate.
Winter Wrap Up is one that initially got me into the fandom.
Winter
There
Wrap
you
Up.
go.
Okay, it's official. Sky's favorite song is Winter Wrap Up.
You better write that down and then fucking harass him later.
Yeah, I will. Don't worry.
NG will remember this.
Yeah, I
There
don't
you
need to
go.
write it down. This will stay in my memory until I die.
Now quick, we must harass Wob.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw that one over to you, Spone.
Alright, Wob. Are you ready?
My body is ready.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Alright, what got you into the fandom? Go.
What got me into the fandom? So, I originally got into the fandom at around 2013, and I watched my first episode was Hurricane Fluttershy. Before that, I knew of Generation 4 through a old MMO forum I used to frequent because I played the game. It was a WoW clone called Rift, and some dude there had an avatar of Twilight Sparkle with a giant scroll cannon. And that's when I saw that, and I'm like, that art style looks very familiar, and that's a pony, and I know that's a pony. And this was before I ever watched it because I knew of MLP because I knew the toy brand. I used to frequent Toys R Us as a kid, and my sister had a few of the toys. So I knew it by that. But I was never really interested in searching out, what the hell, where did this come from? Until about 2013, where I'm like, all right, I'm going to Google My Little Pony and see what the hell is
I'm
up
gonna
here,
Google
because
it.
That's exactly what I did, too. And then I saw that there was Generation 4. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I look at the Wikia, and you got all the characters and like this very familiar art style. I was a big fan of like the 90s cartoons. So as soon as I saw this, I recognized, I would say, Lauren Faust's work right away. Because I watched, Powerpuff Girls, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, all that stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'll give this show a try. And I found out that it was on television, like right as I was looking it up at like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Oh
For
shit.
some shit, I was in college, so I had the day off.
It was
And
real
I ended
shit
up
time.
watching real shit time. Send it. I ended up watching Hurricane Fluttershy that day, followed by Dragon Quest. And I couldn't get enough of it.
I couldn't stop.
Just
I was
having a
addicted.
Fluttershy day.
It was full of Fluttershy.
So
It was a good episode.
you got into it partly because your sister, I guess, and then just your cartoon curiosity. Sky just got into it because some people started raiding his Gmod server.
Some people started spamming memes at him. Yeah.
No, they actually started spamming the songs and they got stuck in my head. So I'm like, why is this so good? I need to look this up.
You got fucked over by Music Sky.
Oh,
Look where it's led you now.
I like music though.
I like Wob's
Hey,
reason
fair
better.
enough.
Wob, you
I
have
like
more of a
Wob's
reason to
reason.
be here.
It's not very nice, NG.
Wow.
I also like music.
All right. So I think you kind of explained how you got here, but how did you come across EQD Wob?
That's an even longer story. So
How is this a longer story? What? I was on the internet and I clicked on it, and then I
So-
got here.
yeah, that's sort of how it happened. After watching the first 2 episodes, I went to YouTube and I started looking up, see if I could find more episodes on there.
I needed
Additional to
more.
that, I needed more. Anyway, I looked up episodes and additional, and I found fan content, and I found all your 2012 songs, all the other songs from like Wooden Toaster, Living Tombstone. Everyone always talks about those first. Those were also
Yeah.
the first I found as well, because they were on the top of the freaking YouTube algorithm. And after those, I believe it or not, I actually read YouTube comments to a certain extent.
What the fuck? Who does that?
And I saw them talking about EFR and EQD. And it was EFR and EFN at the time because they transitioned over. And if you guys ever heard of Everfree Radio or Everfree Network, they were sort of as a like competitor fan sites, Equestria Daily.
Derelict. Yeah, gotcha.
But I ended up checking out Everfree Network first, and I joined their IRC chat. And I also checked out Equestria Daily from there, but I never really pursued it. And about 2015, I found out or realized that there was more than just Everfree Network's IRC chat on there. On the same server, they had the Equestria Daily IRC chat on there. I ended up joining and lurking that. And just to speed it up a little bit more, the IRC started to die like 2015, 2016, and there just wasn't that many people coming in because they didn't really promote it that much. And around 2017, February, as what Sky said, is when they announced there's going to be a Discord for Equestria Daily. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm getting tired of IRC. I'm going to transfer over to Discord because it's better in every single
better.
way.
Yeah, can't argue.
And that's when I first joined the chat. And I was also there with a few other refugees that came over from the IRC EQD.
Refugees. We welcome your sick and your poor. Come on in.
Yeah, I wasn't part of the memester group that came from the comments, but
You're certainly
Wow.
part of the memester group now, I'll tell you that.
I mean, I've been
Dang.
infected.
Assimilated.
But yeah, I ended up finding it like that, and I've been here ever since.
And then you, after like a year or so, you finally managed to get a Better Pony Modes banned. So well done.
Yay.
You did it. All right, Wob. Next question. I'm gonna be really surprised by this, but which horse is your favorite?
I hate choosing favorites.
Come on,
'Cause you know
surprise
what?
the world.
Because my obvious answer would probably be Starlight Glimmer. I'd rather give you my
Oh.
top 3.
All right, fine.
Top
Give us your top
three.
3.
Okay.
We're
So-
extending some lenience for you.
I'm just gonna
My
cut this
top
out later,
3.
but you're welcome to tell us.
We're gonna cut it out.
My top 3 would be Scootaloo, Starlight Glimmer, and man, the last one's a hard fight. Either Sunset or Twilight.
Man,
That's a weird
Yeah.
top 3.
that's a weird top 3. Why is Scootaloo on there?
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
Okay. No, we won't get to that later. We'll get to that right now.
Well, I'm saying that because the next question is going to be something that will answer that for you, which
Oh,
is
okay,
my
okay.
favorite
All right.
episode.
Fine, fine. Which is your favorite episode then?
So my favorite episode is Sleepless in Ponyville. And the reason I like that episode the most is because it had pretty much everything that I wanted out of the show, which was friendship, sibling love, adventure.
You might want to elaborate on that sibling love.
I will. you know, the whole episode was basically sister pairs. You had Applejack with Apple Bloom. You had Sweetie Belle with Rarity.
And he had Scootaloo with her dead parents.
Yes. And her orphanage. But
And her orphanage.
you know, she wanted, you know, Rainbow Dash's attention, and Rainbow Dash never really thought of her that way. And it wasn't really until like the end of the episode where Rainbow Dash was like, you know, she realizes, you know, Scootaloo looks up to her in this way, and she tells her, you know, a little secret. I used to be afraid too, but I'm so brave now. And that was, you know, that's what I want. I want to see friendship and love.
Man, not even picking like perfect pair as your favorite episode. What is this?
Did that have
I'm
like
sorry.
Luna in it or something with the nightmares, or is that not part of it?
What,
It does have
Sleepless?
Luna in
Yeah.
it too, and I like that because of that. Any episode with the princesses, I tend to favor more because I feel that Celestia and Luna do not get enough exposure.
No, they don't.
Alright.
Did you
Well,
like the most
fair
recent
enough.
one then?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Good.
All right. I think we have what last question, right?
Yeah.
Favorite song.
Favorite song. My favorite two songs. I'll actually let me limit it down to one, but I'll say both of them anyway. I like "You'll Find Your," what is it? "You'll Play Your Part."
There you go.
That would be my number one. I also like "Out on Your Own" from that Apple Bloom episode, where they split off to pursue their own interests. I mostly like those two
I don't
because
even remember that one.
I forgot that song existed.
Oh, that was a very sad song. It was a really good one.
I love sad songs.
What's it called
Wow.
again? I'll listen to this later.
Oh, let me write this down.
But yeah, I really like those songs, and I learned how to sing along to them. So
Oh,
I
no.
remember them, and they're probably my favorites.
Please, no singing.
I won't sing here. I promise.
No recreation,
Really? You
please.
sure? We could get more views if we advertise Wob
If
singing.
we have Wob sing, no,
and we
it's
don't
all right.
timestamp it, so they have to listen to the thing.
No,
I'm not that good. I don't want to sing.
that's quite all right.
That's
Okay.
Those are some interesting answers. Apart from Wobb's, where he just threw in like 80 answers a question, which isn't really fair, but we'll take it.
What's your favorite? Yes. All right, good.
That is what I would normally do.
So yeah, the theme of this podcast, mostly because Sky's here and he likes Bacon Horse, is Equestria Girls. So we're gonna just throw out some quick Equestria Girls related questions at you. We'll start with Sky since he's the big Shimmer fan. So first of all, do you like Equestria Girls, Sky? Do you think it's a good addition to the show?
I think it's been a good side thing for the show. Maybe not like a direct addition to like embed directly into the show. It's been a very good thing that it does very well on its own, and it has its own little corner of fan base within this fandom.
Would you rather have those episodes and films, or would you rather, instead of like all those films, they were just converted into MLP episodes of the same time?
I would rather have all of it because both the show, the Equestria Girls shorts, and the films, they both have their own target audience and their own special niche that they fit into. The show still does what it does, but Equestria Girls manages to do a little more in the way of adult theming, not in the extreme sense, but more so in the a little more mature topics, a little more teenager focused instead of the very young focus for the show. They can do a little bit more than the show can.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'd actually say sometimes that the MLP would have the older topics, but
Yeah, I would agree there.
yeah.
Let's talk about the topic of death, shall we?
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, this is a prime
mean,
example.
They do, but at the same time, the show has to present it in a way which is easy to assimilate for the target audience. the EQG target audience, at least to me, it feels like it's more teenage girls instead of the 12 to 6 to 8 years old girls that
So this guy is a
typically
teenage
watch
girl
them.
confirmed.
Well, that's the intended audience, sure, maybe.
Well, there you go.
That's it's a fair discussion point. Well, what do you reckon? Do you well first of all, do you like Equestria Girls?
I do like Equestria Girls. I have a similar opinion to what Sky said. I do think that the show and Equestria Girls do target different people. I wouldn't necessarily say, how do I want to word this? I think
don't wanna word
that I don't. I think that. I'm sorry. I think that Equestria Girls is a good thing because it brought in a lot of people who wouldn't otherwise be interested in the show and have gotten interested in the show otherwise. They both have difficulties pulling off some of the more mature topics, as Sky said as well. But even if this is kind of beating a dead horse, yeah, I personally don't think Equestria Girls should have ever been made.
Gasp.
You'd rather have pony episodes at the same time.
I would have rather they built upon Pony rather than introduce Equestria Girls. But at the same time, there's plenty of good content in Equestria Girls, and we wouldn't have probably had Sunset Shimmer otherwise. So I think it all evens out.
I haven't found it yet. I'm not that much of a fan. How about you, NG? Where are you sitting at?
What am I sitting at? I actually quite enjoy it. It's a nice break from the show. It has a much more different feel to it, but I can't really put my finger on it. I also didn't think I was going to get asked this, so I haven't prepared anything. So I'm just trying to bullshit
believe
right
it or
now.
not, I can ask you questions. I'm a host. I'm allowed to ask questions.
I probably would have preferred that it existed rather than didn't exist. Just because I feel like with just the songs, there's a lot more creative freedom there, and you get a lot more unique genres, I guess. Like
Unique genres of songs.
I don't know how to say that, but yeah, I there are songs in Equestria Girls more frequently that I prefer to the MLP ones, to say the least.
They are more frequent. That being said, I'm also not a big fan of the songs. So, fair enough. Fair enough. You want to lead into the next question then?
Yeah, go on. So I'll start with you again, Sky. What is your favourite Equestria Girls thing? Film, feature length, series. I don't know how to.
What is your favorite thing?
Okay, well, it's kind of a tie between Rainbow Rocks, which is pretty much my all-time favorite of the movies.
I think it's everyone's favorite. Don't worry.
Yeah, and the latest really long short with Wallflower and the memory thing, because we got a fair amount of Pony Sunset, and we had the thing everyone was waiting for since she was shown, basically. Her and Celestia reconciling, for sort of.
That was good. I did enjoy that.
It does feel a little bit underwhelming, but I guess it's the best they could do for the limited time frame. I do feel like there should have been more to that scene. Could have been a very emotional and very deep scene.
Yeah, I do agree. It was kind of brushed over a bit, just like, hey, it's alright, I forgive you. Let's fucking go to the library. And
Let's go to the castle.
Yeah. Wob, can I bounce that question off you?
Yes. So I have to say my favorite is Mirror Magic because I want to be different than Sky. But at the same time, I also love Forgotten Friendship because of that Celestia and Sunset moment.
I'm guessing Mirror Magic because of Starlight.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else that you like that wasn't to do with Starlight?
In that particular episode or short?
Yeah. It was Starlight, the whole thing.
In Mirror Magic, yeah.
The fact that it had a lot more Pony in it than most of the other shorts.
Yeah, see that I can get behind that reasoning.
It actually had a bit of Pony Sunset as well, didn't it? She
Yes,
came
it
into
did.
the universe for a little bit, just to ask where Twilight was.
Where's Twilight? And that's it. That was the whole scene.
Pretty much it was, wasn't it? Just like, where's Twilight? She's not here. Can I come? Sure. That's it.
Sure. Why not?
That's
Come
not
on
a very
in.
compelling argument.
Okay, but yeah, I think a lot of people quite share the same opinion in general, and that they really like the most recent one.
Yeah, no, the most recent one is probably my favorite as well.
I'm probably tied with opinion with Sky. I'm not sure whether it's the most recent one or Rainbow Rocks. And then last of the questions, favorite Equestria Girls song, Sky.
Oh, song. Okay, so it's going to be it's going to be a tie between the end song of the Battle of the Bands song and the Sunset Shimmer short after Rainbow Rocks. I don't quite remember the name of it
My
yet.
past is
It
not
was
today.
yeah, my past is not today. There we go.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's a
Fair,
tie
fair
between
enough.
those two.
Those are good choices.
Yeah, they are. They've both got Sunset singing in them, which I find funny.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
Sunset's
but
actually nice to listen to.
yeah.
She sounded like exactly like Twilight for a bit though, and then they made her really deep, and it sounded weird, and then they gave her her own voice, and it started to make a bit more sense.
I suppose it's a very strange adaptational period for Rebecca Shoikett because she's used to singing for Twilight and making that Twilight voice.
Yeah,
So she has to she has to sing a song where two people are supposed to be singing it, but she's the only voice actor, and she has to make both voices be distinct enough to not blend into each other to be distinct characters of their own.
which is definitely hard to do, but I think she's managed it by now, which is pretty impressive.
Oh yeah, it certainly took a while though.
Yeah, it only
It
took
took
a
at
while.
least one or two songs, maybe three even.
Wob, gonna throw that same question in your face.
Hope shines eternal.
Hope shines
What?
eternal.
The fuck song is that?
It's Legend of
That was a
Everfree
good
ending song,
song.
isn't it?
Oh.
Right,
Yeah.
oh,
was a good
I'm
song.
not gonna sing on this. Fuck this. But yeah.
I'm not singing. You don't have to sing. I needed to know where it was from. I forget the names of the songs.
Yeah, it is a good one. It's one of the ones on my Spotify playlist. Made the cut.
It made the cut. You guys have pony music on your Spotify.
What about it do you like? Like, you're probably one of the only people I've heard say that one.
Well, I think Artix also likes it a lot too.
Yeah,
But,
he's fucking weird.
That's yeah, I like that song because it has a lot of blending vocals. Like the reason I like a lot of the MLP music is because they make heavy use of multiple characters by having them all do harmonizing vocals. And that's probably one of my favorite parts of these songs.
Actually, they do bounce really well off each other when they're like extending the hope bit, and they've got like 3-4 characters singing at the same time. It is, yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
That's actually one of my favorite things with the Battle of the Band song because the sirens harmonizing and turning into their own little choir was a very strong moment of the song. I love strong vocals and mixing choir-like elements into songs.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
it was a good song. Rainbow Rocks definitely had the highest concentration of like good songs in EQG. I thought.
Rainbow Rocks had the best concentration of just good movie qualities in Equestria Girls.
Yeah, and good
Daniel
villains.
Ingram knows what he's doing.
He does. He's a good dude.
You could
I don't
say
know
he's
how
a professional.
Yeah, it's almost like he does this for a job.
It's almost like he does this for a job. I wonder why he's so good with this.
So we're gonna enter some discussion topics now. We're gonna start talking about the main 6 in the MLP universe, and well, no, they're all on both MLP. The Friendship is Magic universe and Equestria Girls
We're
universe,
talking about
and
all of them.
What?
I said all of them, all of the universes, the entirety of the two.
Yeah, in all the universes, and how they're different, really, and how they're different between the two. I'm not wording this well. We'll
You're
start
not
with the
wording it
obvious
well at
one.
all. What are we going with here?
Twilight, Princess Twilight, and Twi. What do people think of them? Well, I'm gonna say which one do people prefer, but I feel like that one's obvious.
Which one do people prefer? I think we'll let Wob start with this one. Wob.
I like regular Twilight more than Science Twilight.
Oh, that's a shocker.
What do you think of their differences? What do you think Twi brings to the show that regular Twilight wouldn't?
So Science Twilight is more like a branch off of, mostly the science and intellectual side of Twilight. She doesn't have, the qualities of crazy and adorkableness that the pony one does. And I feel that could make her a little more likable of a character, in my opinion. But to be fair, Science Twilight hasn't really been around as long as regular Twilight. So
No?
I think they both bring appreciable qualities.
I would have to agree that they both bring their own stuff to the table. However, the normal Twilight is just directly better.
Yeah.
Has had more time to be around and is not as annoying to listen to.
Twi has kind of been devoid of friendship, so she's kind of gone
What
across
what is friendship?
the star. What if Twilight turned into Star Swirl bearded?
Builded. Oh god.
Builder.
Not Star Swirl Barded.
Sky, what do you reckon? What's your opinion on this?
I'm not a very big fan of Twi, to be honest.
Ooh.
She's an interesting addition to the cast, and I think she does bring a good bit to the show. But there's some questionable choices behind it. I'm sure a lot of people would prefer to keep Pony Twilight into the mix instead of bringing an extra character in and tangling us all up in timelines and parallel versions of each other. Which seems to be a very common concept for Twilight. She just loves getting in trouble with herself if the time travel episode is any indication. But yeah, I don't particularly like her because of multiple reasons, mainly because as a character she has some very glaring flaws in decision making and when to stop when things are going very poorly for everyone around you and you're causing some pretty significant property damage.
You're
Honestly,
telling me that digging the hole deeper isn't the best solution.
Yeah, you just have to stop.
Because of those things, I kind of feel like she isn't a real character. Like she doesn't
She
seem
isn't a real character.
like she doesn't seem very well written. Like I can't believe someone actually doing what she does.
No, there's a lot of forced plot elements on her because she has to replace Twilight somehow, so they automatically have to forgive her. She has to be into the group, but she also has to cause enough trouble and go through the same process Sunset does. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not for her to go full circle and redeem a Twilight in the same way she was redeemed. It's a very odd choice of everything, basically. Just a very odd choice in general.
Like yeah, I think I would like to see more of the Pony Twilight in the show, but I guess they kind of did that in Forgotten Friendship, didn't they? It had quite a lot of Princess Twilight.
I mean,
They did.
more or less, yes.
So maybe they're
Not the same
starting to
way.
listen.
Maybe they started to listen and realize people didn't like sci-fi.
Oh god. Does anyone here actually like Wob? I'm assuming you do because you like everything, unless
Like what?
do you
Do you
actually like her?
sci-fi?
Science Twilight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't dislike her. I just think that Pony is better.
Okay.
Yeah, see, he
okay.
just likes everything. I told you.
Yeah, he
It's cool.
does just like everything.
We have one person.
So, what about the other five? I can try to start this off and say, I think they're pretty much the same, apart
Yeah, more or
from
less.
like Rarity is still pretty obsessed about fashion. But if anything, she has a bit less of the generous element. Pinkie Pie's still obsessed with parties and shit. And yeah.
Wow, it's almost like they kept their characters the same.
But does anyone else have any thoughts on something that they think is really different between EQG and
Actually,
FIM?
actually like all of them. Like the EQG cast, I like them at least as much as the normal cast because they're basically the same characters, but reworked to work in a world that is much closer to ours. So it's a little more realistic towards what you can expect from actual people, though to an extent. Uh, they're still very defined and very exaggerated in some cases characters, but they're wholesome in their own way, and you can see a lot of actual personalities in them, like actual people, what they would do, and how they would react to crazy stuff that typically is normal in the show in a world that's very close to ours.
Yeah, I think they are pretty undeveloped as far as it goes. Like they'll probably be the same as the characters were back in season 2-ish.
Didn't want to say season 1.
It's not that far back.
They're not that bad.
They're not like assholes
They
to
do
each
have-
other in season 1.
They do have a bit of backstory to themselves because they were friends before Sunset came into their lives. So
Yeah.
you could say they were season 2-ish.
Season 2-ish, kind of, more or less. Although, weren't they friends in the show as well at the beginning?
I don't know actually.
It's
Were
never,
they?
I'm pretty sure, like, in the first episode, like, they talk about everyone knowing each other.
I mean, it's never really established that they were friends. Like they know each other, but are you actually as close friends as you are?
Well, obviously, they're closer friends now after everything they've been through. I mean, I would hope.
In like that the Twilight of the Starlight finale where Applejack was just like, yeah, Rarity, I know her, but I wasn't her friend. I kind of just assumed it was like that. And then once they went on that first adventure to try and defeat Nightmare Moon, this is
They went
just
on an adventure.
this is just purely what I think. So I'm just throwing my own like headcanon out there. But yeah, I guess I
Yeah.
never really thought of them as friends before that.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I think it's fair to assume that, yes, they had a better friendship to begin with on the show. There's one difference.
Yeah, there is one difference
Everything
between the
else,
characters.
everything else, I'd say it's pretty much, at least for me, they don't seem to act very differently.
I think Sky's made a fair point though. They are adapted to sort of work in the real world, so they've done that pretty well.
Well, yeah, of
'cause
course,
I
of course
can't.
there were.
I honestly couldn't have said there was anything different, and for them to live in a high school instead of Ponyland, and for me
Living
not
in a
to
high
say
school.
that there's
First off,
nothing different.
what the hell kind of world do you live in where people live at high school?
Boarding school. No, I never
Boarding
actually
school.
went. But
Oh dear.
you know what I mean, Spone. Stop twisting my
Yeah.
words.
I'm not twisting them. I'm just saying
You're just
you
re-saying
said.
them back in my face.
exactly. Sometimes it helps to rehear what you say.
Um,
Wob, anything that you want to point out?
Not that I can think of.
not
All
that I
right,
can
fair,
think
fair
of.
enough.
Wob
So
2018.
we've decided that Twilight completely different and sucks more ass, and then every other character is pretty much more or less the same, although adapted to work in a real world.
That's
They
too
do
long. Didn't
have-
watch. I'll
they do
timestamp
have
this
minor.
I'll timestamp that.
in case people don't want the full discussion.
They do have minor differences, mostly world differences, like stuff we do instead of horses doing. I don't think Applejack actually lives on a farm in the EQG world, but
They
That's what
do
they
have
want you to
apples,
think.
don't they?
They
Because-
have apples in the real world, yeah.
like they made cider and shit. I thought they weren't farmers.
Get
yes,
apples
but
in your backyard.
There you go.
I don't think she intrinsically lives in a barn in the human
Yeah,
world.
I don't think she lives on a farm either. But I think Wob is also
Yeah.
correct in saying that they have apples.
They do have apples.
I mean, they
Yeah.
for sure have apples.
You know, I will say, I think that with the Equestria Girls, I think that they're less forgiving than they are in the show.
How so? Like, they literally just forgave Sunset Shimmer after she blew a hole in the school.
I mean, that's also true, but like in the most recent like short with the erasing memories and stuff, like I feel like they were way less forgiving at first than they would have been in the show. Because like they didn't know who Sunset was or anything, you know, so they were just kind of like, "Fuck you."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're a lot less
Yeah,
friendly.
that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, they seem maybe that's just real life making people less friendly. I don't know.
It probably is the whole high school environment and the fact that they're actually people who live in the day we do.
Maybe they're just trying to like reflect for teenage girls, like don't forgive.
Everyone's a bitch and they're set otherwise.
There you go.
And you know, texts are just full of emojis. There's no words in there. It's just
There's no words. The next Equestria Girls short is just gonna be emojis.
there's no voice acting.
Emoji.
Oh god, I hope not.
It'd be pretty fucking funny. Come on.
No, it would be funny, but it would also hurt.
Yeah, it's the good kind of cringe.
I don't know. Don't put good and cringe together, please.
Is there a good kind of cringe though? Come on.
Spike
No.
singing the Clownsdale national anthem. That
No,
was
no.
good cringe.
No.
I was
That
just
was-
about to say that.
That was not good cringe.
Thank you, Orb. Thank you, Orb. I found that hilarious.
I did as well.
I love that.
That is one of the very few times I've paused the show and I've had to reconsider my life choices before I click the resume button. Just
Am I
because
leaving
of
now?
the
I thought it was funny. I thought it was good humor.
No, I mean we know that your humor isn't the best, NG, so it's okay.
I think I'm pretty funny. Well, would you say I'm funny?
Yes.
There we go.
Mob would say anyone's funny though. Come on.
What would you say? Spone's funny?
Yes.
Oh, fuck's sake.
What
Am I
about Sky?
Yes.
Well, there you go. All right, we're
Well,
3 for 3. That's a 100% approval rate.
Now we know he's lying.
No, he's lying. I don't know if that's how that works.
I mean, this guy can't be funny. We've seen him talk.
Yeah, we've already established this. I don't understand fun.
There you go.
Unless Wob just finds him funny, like he just laughs at him.
No, that would be mean.
Dang.
He would never.
Oh yeah, you would never do that, Wob. Don't worry. I know. Wink.
Only to you.
Man, you're just you're not getting any reprieve here, NG. I think you might just want to lead on to the
Yeah,
next topic.
I'm just gonna throw this. So let's just distract you all with the main event. Sunset Shimmer, the big Equestria Girls person.
Person. I like how you didn't say horse. I'm proud of you.
She is a horse. She's from Equestria.
Nah,
isn't she?
she's a person.
She's pretty much a person now. She's more a person now than ever before.
Spends most of her time as a person.
So obviously Sky fucking loves Sunset Shimmer. What do you like about Sunset Shimmer? Since we didn't go into that before.
I
Okay.
like her design. I like her somewhat vague backstory. I like the way she handles herself post the first movie. I like her character. She's very straightforward, very intellectual. She likes to solve problems properly. Uh, she doesn't cower away from social situations like some people do. She's had a good redemption arc, at least in my opinion. It could have used a little bit more to it. And I know most people think it was just a snap your fingers once and it's done, but that was just the main six. And I'm pretty sure we can all agree that the main six are pretty crazy in the sense that they will forgive you for literally destroying the world and just saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's that's fine. They'll forgive you.
Unless they forget about who you are, and then they won't forgive you at all for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless plot convenience says they shouldn't.
Yeah.
We've
But
got
yes, I like pretty much everything about her.
we've got Danstar saying she knows how to control people, so maybe she's just really influential.
She's really influential.
Just President Sunset Shimmer.
All right, Wob.
So I can't do it in as descriptive of a fashion as Sky, but I like Sunset Shimmer because she is one of the more human-like characters in the show/shorts.
I see
Similar
what you did there.
to
She's a human.
similar to how Starlight Glimmer is in the current show right now. She does things in a more relatable fashion and acts in a more relatable fashion than, say, the main six do most of the time. And that is why I like her.
Nah,
They're
that's...
very three-dimensional characters, both of them. Like there's a lot of depth to them, pun not intended.
Both of them? Who's the other one?
Sunset and Starlight.
Oh, right, yeah.
I
There's a
would
lot of
say
depth to them.
I would
But,
say
like-
that I like both of them because they are kind of designed to be the character that a person watching the show would be, rather than being like an element of, whatever. They're not supposed to be having any sort of ideal or anything. They're just kind of there to be a person that would be more realistic to the scenario as just a person. And that's why I like them. They're kind of like the rational in between of like, what the fuck is even going on?
They're the most relatable.
Yeah. And they're designed to be that way, which I think is good.
Yeah, I think so too.
Every show needs that kind of character, and I think a lot of them do. There's always the one guy who's like, seriously, why are we doing this again? Someone to like hit the brakes on all the crazy characters and whimsical situations and say, wait, what?
Yeah, and they're not overly like moralistic on like one kind of axis. They're kind of just in between on everything.
Yeah.
And that's nice. It's not like you know what you're going to expect them to be saying. It's irrational rather than just like always be honest or stuff like that.
Always be. Applejack
Always
last
be
episode.
nice to others. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean with the whole three-dimensional thing, because the main six and a lot of the other characters just have their ideals and they stick to them. They have downsides, they have their pros and cons, but they're two-dimensional. They don't have like the additional insight to realize what they're doing and why they're doing it, and just look at everyone around them and say why or what, or maybe look at things from a completely different perspective to like the typical thought process of the main characters.
No, I agree.
So, starting off at the very beginning, what did you think of her in Equestria Girls, the first one, as a villain?
Who is that directed at?
I'll throw this at Wob, since Sky's just had his little rant.
Sky had his rant. You're done now?
Yep.
I think her plan was absolutely awful. Like her plan was to hijack a bunch of high school kids' heads, turn them into zombies, and then use them to take over Equestria. Not gonna happen.
Now, I don't know why you think that's a bad plan. That seems like the most well thought out plan that I've ever heard of.
In comparison to some others.
Maybe it's just one of those plans you come up with when you're in just a complete state of rage and aren't thinking clearly.
What am I gonna do? I'm gonna take over this school. I'm gonna mind fucking control all the children, and we're gonna go take over an entire country of horses.
By winning a crown from being crowned prom queen instead of just going and just taking it, because that literally wouldn't make any difference. I could still use it.
Don't you understand, NG? Come on, you can't just do that.
The first movie had so much just half-baked ideas. It was insane.
It just seems like people were shitposting one day talking about like, hey, what if we made this into a high school scenario with like kids, make it for teenage girls, and like, hey, we can do that. But then
And
they
one
didn't
of
really
the-
think it through.
And
Remember
one of the show artists just goes on that thread, reads it, and they're like, "Holy shit, this is amazing!
We could make money off of this.
We can make a fandom out of this."
Maybe they weren't too
Yeah.
sure and they were just trying to shake off the brony fandom. Just like, we've done Princess Twilight and they're still here. What else can we do?
What else can we do?
Turn them into humans.
We'll make them humans. That'll just appeal to more people.
You think, but no.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, but some people do. And since this show still exists, it wasn't replaced. It just brought in more people. So fair enough. I feel like it was just a tactic to get more people to come in.
Oh, there's for sure people who
buy our
joined just
tours.
because of it.
Buy our toys, buy our toys. I think Planet just basically loves fucking humans, doesn't she?
Yeah, some people just prefer Equestria Girls. I don't know how you could prefer Equestria
Yeah,
Girls.
me
but,
neither.
yeah, some
Whenever
people do.
someone says that, I just think something's wrong with them.
It's like, excuse me?
Yeah.
I like Equestria Girls a lot better than some episodes of the
Oh,
show.
wow.
and
Okay, you know, you
the
can't just
entire
say that.
last season.
Oh, man, I really enjoy Equestria Girls. It sure is better than Princess Spike. It's
I
there's
mean,
just
yeah.
there's just some episodes where it's like there's no redeeming quality for that episode. You could compare it next to just not watching the episode, and sometimes not watching the episode seems better.
Or the only redeeming quality being like the one super obscure character that's a pop culture reference
There you
in
go.
like 2 scenes.
Wob, how do you feel about the first movie? Huh? Yes. My favorite response.
Silence.
This.
I like the first movie because it introduces stuff, but it's definitely not my favorite of the 4 main movies.
Yeah, that's a fair plan.
I think that's pretty much general consensus there.
So moving on with Rainbow Rocks and Sunset's redemption arc. How do you think it was handled in that film? I'll throw this to Sky to start off with.
I think was handled very well, to be honest, because there's a lot of symbolism in there to an extent. The high school and all the students that hate her are like the actual representation of people who would legitimately dislike you for doing something really bad. Like they weren't like the main 6 to instantly forgive her, and she had to do something to earn their trust and to redeem herself for literally destroying the front facade of the school and trying to enslave everyone and being a bitch for 2 years, which is not something you should really be forgiving on a whim.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very well written episode. There were movie, that is. There were a lot of good
Very
scenes,
long
a lot
episode.
yeah.
Yeah.
You could say the pacing was literally episode type, but that's all the Equestria Girls. They have not managed to shake out the episode pacing. Like they're still following the same little guideline, the same progression that the show does, and you can't really blame them because they are used to it. It's a formula that works. Maybe not one that works for a movie that well, but who knows? Maybe they'll properly learn to pace their things from the MLP movie.
You never know.
Yeah.
We can still see.
I'm very fond of the scene with Trixie.
Which
for
one?
some reason. The one where Sunset gets angry at Trixie. Because it shows that she's not fully there. She's still a bit of a bitch, but she's really trying.
Believable character.
Believable and consistent, yeah.
Believable and consistent. Yeah, I did like that. I did like that people are still unsure of her, and they're still like, yeah, look, she's still the same. And even the main 6, like when she jumped onto the stage to stop Rainbow Dash ponying up. I hate that fucking term, but
Let's pony up.
yeah.
I fucking hate that too, don't worry.
they were just like not Starlight, Sunset. What the fuck? And yeah, she wasn't fully redeemed, and I think everyone came out of that liking Sunset Shimmer, whereas at the end of Equestria Girls 1, they were just like, what the fuck is this new character? Why is she here? And
This is bullshit.
it just surprised everyone with what it did with her. I think it had the best chance to showcase what they could do, and I think that they did well with it. Well, what about you? What's your feelings?
This one's about Rainbow Rocks, right?
Yeah, and
Rainbow Rocks. The
Sunset's Redemption.
Arguably best one.
I would have to say Rainbow Rocks is probably my favorite as it comes story-wise, with Legend of Everfree being my favorite music-wise, despite all the great music in Rainbow Rocks. I just like the feeling of Legend of Everfree's music more, but story-wise, Rainbow Rocks is definitely the best.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
Legend
no.
of Everfree does have some more, I don't know, like country-esque music? I don't know.
Country-esque music. Oh god, no, please.
With a
Don't
special
remind
from
me.
Tim McGraw.
It's very inspired by campfire music, as one would expect.
It's camp music
It's-
because they're at a camp. Ooh,
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it?
yeah.
There's a lot of guitar in it too.
Almost like it was meant to be that way.
Yeah,
It
Who'da
is
guessed?
well themed. We'll just put together the rest because Sunset's redeemed now. So, what do you think of Sunset since Rainbow Rocks? What do you think of her? Has she adapted much? Has she pretty much stayed the same character? Do you like what they've done with her since then?
I personally like her more just because I feel like she's more logical and relaxed and not a douchebag.
Do you like her more now than since Rainbow Rocks?
Me? Yeah,
Okay.
I would say so. I would say getting past everyone getting over like the hate fest and then her still trying to figure shit out. I feel like she's a lot better. In my personal opinion.
I'll throw this one to Wob as well.
I think she's a better character overall now. What I wish she had was a better power. Her power right now is just like, oh,
I can read your mind.
Their mind, which is cool, but I'd
Bob
rather have
wants
levitation.
something cooler.
I think that's pretty decent. What do you think's wrong with it?
You know, if I could read people's minds, I'd be pretty fucking hype.
Yeah, me too. I'd be pretty content. Like if I could choose between levitating things and reading people's minds, I'd probably choose reading people's minds.
Bob has no comment.
No comment.
I've destroyed his argument.
You've ruined it. No.
All right. Well, now that I've burnt Wob to a crisp, Sky, what do you think?
I think she's developed pretty well as a character. She definitely cares a lot more for these girls than she did, say, Rainbow Rocks. She's a lot less alienated from the group. She just cares about everyone in general, which is very nice. She cares for Trixie too, which is pretty interesting. They have a very good dynamic in the latest short. I actually quite like Trixie in that, and it's probably making me like her more in general now because of that short.
Because of that short.
Is it
Yes,
kind of the
one
same
short
as?
where she's actually a decent person. I'm starting to appreciate this character more.
Yeah,
Who'd
Trixie
have
is
guessed
kind
that
of an
being a
asshole.
decent person is going to make you better? But yeah, I think her power is pretty accurate to what she is. She's very empathetic, so seeing the internal thoughts of people is pretty accurate for her. And I still think the whole necklace thing is very goofy, and maybe they could have done something better with it, but I suppose that's their equivalent of Elements of Harmony.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I also think is kind of. I do agree. It's kind of weirdly done.
It's a little forced. It doesn't need to be there, but yeah.
Yeah, I do sort of not like her role in. Well, no, I like her role in friendship games, but she's very aggressive in that in general. I mean, it makes sense. People are doing very stupid shit, and she's the only one being there. Why? Don't just stop that. And Saitoi just keeps doing what she's doing, and it's obviously frustrating. Maybe not the best thing to do to make outbursts with people, but situations and things.
Situations and things. My favorite.
Situations and
Ah,
Diff-
man.
Different situations and different reaction from people. It's hard to judge based on like one experience with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree that over the films and whatnot, she does grow to care a lot more about them. Like in the most recent Forgotten Friendship thing, where all her memories are being erased, and she goes to Saitoi, the "Don't forget me," and then just
Don't forget me.
memories just completely erased. I really like that scene. I thought that was really well done, and I think it helped build a lot on her character, which I thought was really nice.
If
So-
that was the Rainbow Rocks Sunset Shimmer that had her memories deleted, she probably wouldn't have cared, like, at all. She
Yeah.
probably would have accepted it as a kind of punishment.
Yeah.
Just gone on with a very blank life.
Well, thank God for character development.
Indeed.
Wob, anything else you want to add on to the end?
I think the element of empathy does summarize it pretty well. That's her element of harmony, so to speak.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I also feel like her power was added for partially because of empathy, partially because plot convenience. It makes things really easy.
Yeah.
Now I
Or-
now understand why you're doing this. It's like the easiest way of finding out backstory on a person.
They were just told during the Legend of Everfree, yeah, we need to make the next thing like 50 minutes. How can we shorten it? Just give Sunset mind reading powers so that she can
We'll
just tell
give
the
her the
problem.
ability to know what the problem is. Well, there you go. It's a
Exactly.
lot easier if you can read minds to just be able to see, like, oh, this is why they're doing that, and now we can solve the problem.
Well, the Wallflower fiasco would have taken a lot more to solve if it weren't for those powers. And they were kind of countered by the fact that she could basically wipe her mind. But crafty Sunset with her little drone.
Oh
Crafty.
yeah.
No. She got the idea from someone else. It's not crafty.
Yeah, it is basically a movie thing. Like whenever
Yeah.
there's a storyline about forgetting and memories, there's usually the one guy who's recording everything or writing everything down.
Yep. Now we all have to go watch Memento.
Yeah.
All right. NG, continue. You've got this.
We got this together. I'm just gonna do it every time you say that.
No, please.
So, talking about the villains throughout the film. So we've obviously talked about Sunset, how she started. Rainbow Rocks, Dazzlings. What did you think of them? Where do they come in your villain list? We'll give this to who do you want to give it to, Spone? First.
I want to give it to you. Where do they go?
Fuck's sakes. I think they're really good. I like the whole like enchantress thing, like the sirens in the sea, like bringing the ships to get them crashing into them. I like that. I like that theme a lot. I think I'm not sure whether it's how good the film is makes me like them more, or them being good is a reason why I like the film so much. But they're up there. They're up there. I can see why people like fanboy about them.
I like them too. Okay, I feel like their character design is kind of generic. Like their personalities aren't really anything that I'm shocked by. They kind of
I
went for
forget
some.
what I forget what the purple one is like. I don't really know.
The purple one, it's like you have like an angry one, you have like the silly one, and then you have like the one that's in between trying to like mediate and gets just tired of people's shit. And that's pretty
Wait,
stereotypical
which
for
one's that?
villain.
I can't even. The silly one's obviously the Taco Tuesday one.
Yeah, Sonata. And then there's Arya, which is like the angry, bitchy one. And then there's fucking Adagio, the one that's like
Oh,
in
right.
charge.
Okay.
You know, the one trying to manage both of them and just tired of everyone's shit.
Alright, and then we'll also throw this to Sky.
I
since
can
that
relate
isn't me.
about that Sadagio comment very much. That's my life right there.
That is my life. My life is managing people and being tired of their shit.
Yep. Well, I very much like the sirens. They're very unique kind of villain. They're not your typical big bad evil here to destroy your everything. They have a unique approach to being villains. I love the reference to Greek mythology with the sirens. They're a great little tie-in to Equestria as well. They did show up later into the show
For
as
half
much
a
as it,
second as a
yeah,
flashback.
as much
Fair
as it can.
enough, fine. You just want it to be canon. All right, fine.
No, I don't. I couldn't really care less. I just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough.
It was nice seeing them. Like when you watched the finale, you were kind of like, "Oh my god, is that them?
Oh my god.
My
Yeah, they
life
had
is
great
complete."
songs and everything, and they were a different kind of villain. Not
Oh
you.
man, yeah, good songs. I forgot about that. Yeah, no, they did. I
The designs
agree.
and personalities are also really cool. If the personalities are a little stereotypical, the designs do make up for it.
I mean, yeah, no, it works. Obviously, it's just like, oh, I already know what to expect from them, which it's not bad. It's just predictable.
Yep.
Wob, what do you think?
I would say that my favorite villains are also the Sirens, but I also like the Midnight Sparkle and Daydream Shimmer transformations,
Wait,
mostly because of their designs.
Daydream? What? Hang on. What?
Yeah.
Who
Is
the
that
flight?
is that what it's called?
Yes, she is called Daydream Shimmer in her magical form of I'm an
Wow,
angel.
she is. That's...
I didn't
Okay,
know that. That's news to me. All right, now carry on.
we can start talking about this since we're kind of done with the Dazzlings.
Yeah,
I like their designs mostly, and Midnight Sparkle is a manifestation of Science Twilight's insecurities. I
Did
don't
you
really have
relate,
much
Wob?
more than that. Did I what?
Did you relate?
Maybe a little.
a little, just a little bit, maybe, possibly.
But no, yeah, I agree. It was a accurate representation of the bad parts of her taking over. You can tell that they're still the same character, but more evil.
I really don't like the way they handled the whole Nightmare Sparkle or whatever you want to call her.
Whatever her
Uh,
name is, yeah.
I like the concept of it, the way that Sunset goes full circle, and there is a Twilight that gets redeemed by her. But at the same time, the road you got to achieving the Midnight Sparkle character progression was poorly executed, to say the least. They could have done better. They could have done something a lot less blatant stupidity to reach that point, because I already mentioned this one in the in my thoughts on Sci-Twi, but she just doesn't know when to stop. Like the entire segment there where she converts into the entire friendship game, just basically, and her conversion into Midnight Sparkle very easily could have been avoided by applying common sense or
She was
just
quite pressured by Finch though. Like she had like scholarships on the line, and Finch was just being a generic asshole.
true,
Yeah,
but
that's also a good point.
you still have to like draw a line where you're just going too far.
You need to know when to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, she
It's
doesn't
fine to
really.
stop.
I kind of see because she doesn't really know what she's doing. This is her like future on the line. Like all these years at school, and she's basically being told you can't go into uni or whatever. Your educational life is gonna end here if you don't do what I tell you to.
We're
So,
gonna kill your family if you don't do this.
I mean, it pretty much would be the end of her world if that happened. So, since she was just like, well, you know, this could just not be dangerous, I'll do it anyway. I don't really know what I'm dealing with, but I'm sure it won't be that bad. And then all of a sudden, she's Midnight Sparkle.
Next thing you know, man, I hate it. Yeah, sometimes you're going along, you think things are fine. Next thing you know, you're a demon.
They for sure could have done something better with it. Like they could have made a little bit of they could have made the necklace itself drain Twilight's magic, like a little bit of her magic, and then have a manifestation of that take over the necklace for her, instead of just her walking it around the place and just sucking people's unidentified energy, which is a little bit shady.
I love sucking out people's unidentified energy. Man, high school, man, all those good memories. Remember that one time when I got my energy sucked? Ooh.
Poor choice of words.
Oh no, I know what I was saying.
Yeah, let's stop Spone speaking there for a second. What did you think Cinch, Sky?
I think she was actually really good at being a villain. She was
good at being bad.
very good at being a bitch. She's very manipulative, and she has a lot of power to back that up. She's not just being a bitch for the sake of being a bitch. And she knows what she wants. She wants to get it done, no matter what. And I'm glad she got what she had coming.
All
I
right.
think most people are happy when that happens. You know, the villain finally gets what they deserve.
Yeah,
That's
her
their
voice and design
comeuppance.
were also really good.
Wob, what about you? What do you think of the principal?
Can we say swear words here?
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying them the whole
Yeah,
time.
as long as it's EQD allowed, you can say it.
Cinch was a dick. It just
It's not
makes
a
me
swear.
angry thinking about her.
Just makes me angry. Fuck. Ah.
I want to punch her in the face.
Exactly.
Seriously, yeah, she was good at being bad. Give her that.
Did you think she was a good villain?
She was a realistic villain. She's power hungry, wants to do everything to make her school the best and reach her goals. Fuck the kids. Not literally, of course.
Yeah.
Fuck's
Thank God you
sake,
said that before I said anything.
Oh boy.
Okay, I feel like there's no one I can trust with this topic now. So I actually really didn't like her. I thought she wasn't a believable character. She was like sacrificing the kids' safety in this weird motocross bike run when there were these weird tentacle monsters trying to kill everyone, and she was just like, "Hey, you cheated," and that was it. That was literally her entire opinion on the matter. She didn't really have a reason for wanting her school to be the best. Like you can kind of get it, but not to that extent. Not to the extent where I'd rather just have my students die so long as I can beat cans a lot higher in these friendship games. So I
It's much like schools in real life. Gonna let my kids die as long as I get that state funding. Ooh.
Priorities, man. Priorities.
Yeah, I forgot to talk about real world issues here. Yeah, you got to get that state funding. Just let a few kids die. I'm sure we'll be fine. Hey, maybe they can get
Yeah,
some
that's
like
fine.
disability benefits off of them.
They're insured, right?
Oh, my student's now crippled. Can I have some funding for a some wheelchair access, please?
Yeah, we need some more wheelchair access now. What happened? Oh, they hurt themselves because there were giant tentacle monster things. Yeah, it's a long story.
They hurt themselves on the motocross. I think we should ban that in future sports. It was very unsafe. To be fair, why the fuck was that there? That was
Yeah, to be fair, like, what kind of sports were they even having? Like, the villain here really is like the kind of shit they were putting them through with these sports.
yeah.
The whole friendship games events was just so wild. Like at first it starts with an academic contest.
Yeah, stuff that makes
and it
sense.
turns
It's,
into
yeah.
motocross. Like where the hell does it come from?
Now
at
we've
the
got
time-
It was like a motocross relay as well. Didn't they have to do like an obstacle course? Then they had to throw some darts. Once that hits, the motocross people can start driving. It was
archery, not darts.
archery.
Yeah, it's actually. Jeez.
This isn't a sport. This isn't a thing. This isn't something that exists.
Not
And
currently.
then the tiebreakers just capture the flag.
And honestly, if my high school had that kind of stuff, I'd be excited.
Archery into motocross relay race.
Yeah, it's like most schools have they have like their teams for basketball or like different like games that they play, and then this is just the team for everything. Just get ready for motocross, archery, all this other shit.
Hey, if my high school involved a lot of magical explosions and weird shit invading, it'd be a lot more entertaining.
Honestly, you think like the military would show up at some point, just wondering why the fuck all this magical shit's happening here.
Oh yeah. There'd be at least 5 different houses full of FBI agents ready to just rush the place the moment anything bad goes.
White van sitting in front of the school waiting.
The fucking
Ice cream vans.
Sideswipe finds out this shit before the FBI does from the school across
Yeah.
town, just with some of her own like school procured equipment. But nah, NSA asleep, FBI.
We're not picking up on anything. Yeah, it's the meme. It's not
Imagine
it's
how
like,
they had to justify the entire facade of the school being broken. Oh, we just we had an accident. The
it was an
toilet flooded
incredibly localized earthquake.
No one was harmed though, so it's fine. In fact, well, how was no one harmed? How has no one died yet in Equestria Girls?
Now there's probably been a lot of deaths. They don't talk about it though.
they don't shine a light on those.
They have that TV like PG rating. I don't know what the ratings are for TV.
TV
But yeah.
Y, I think.
They don't.
TVY,
They
yeah.
don't die. They just go to sleep.
Nobody dies. They just either like go away or you just don't see them.
They get transferred.
Hey, yeah, he got transferred to a different school. What happened to him? Oh, they got transferred.
To a place where he can be happy and roam the fields.
Oh god.
What about you, Bob? Any sort of input on the friendship games and how that's the real villain here?
They're crazy.
They're crazy. What do you think about? What do you think about the film itself? Did you? It's obviously not in your top 3, considering. I'm guessing it's 3rd for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think? Besides,
Sorry. I think friendship games played out about how it played out.
it happened. It was a thing. It was really
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah.
I can't really think of a way to make it better without like restructuring the film.
And just not
Yeah.
having friendship games, maybe.
It's just a weird topic. It's
is.
strange.
I mean, it's a theme with Equestria Girls, but it had some good songs. Like I really liked Akdeka. Wait, that's the only one I like.
It had good songs.
It had
and
a
then
good
named
song
one
to me. I don't know. Wob probably likes all of them.
I like a bunch of the songs from friendship games. I can bring them up. in, like,
I
a
love the
moment.
intro song. That was a really good one.
Oh yeah, the friendship game song.
Yeah.
I don't really know how else to describe that.
I don't know how else to describe it aside from the fact that it's just the friendship games one. Yeah,
That one. Yeah, I'm glad you get me, Spone.
I understand. I've heard all the songs. It doesn't mean that I.
Friendship Through the Ages is also a really good one because apparently it counts towards the soundtrack for this movie.
Wait, it
Even
does?
though it's from it's from a
Sure.
the shorts.
All right.
Guess
Well,
it was
fair
just
enough.
because it was one of the shorts after it. Yeah, it.
Like all of the shorts are part of the friendship game soundtrack.
So does that mean like Life is a Runway and
Yeah,
those ones they're part
Dance
of it?
Magic.
It sounds like a familiar song of
My
Life is
Past
a
Is On
Highway.
Today.
Life is a Then they're not the same, are they? Are they?
My all-time favorite song, though, of the friendship games era after My Past Is Not Today is probably the duo version of What More Is Out There.
I was just about to say
The
that.
cut version. That song was amazing. Like,
I haven't
just
heard
hate
that.
them for cutting it. Have you? Why have you not heard that?
I might have heard it, but I can't recall
wasn't-
because I don't remember the names of songs.
Yeah. I'll have
let me
to
get it
search
for
that
you.
up later. As well as something else that was Wob's favourite song, but I forgot what it was.
I like the rally song. I think that's from the third movie, right?
Oh, Cinch, yeah, the one with Rainbow Dash.
Mm-hmm.
One with Rainbow Dash. Oh god, it's already bad.
It is already bad. Yeah, I wasn't. I didn't like that one too much. What did you like about it?
It's very catchy.
I don't remember. I can't even remember it, and I've heard it at least 3 times just to make
I
sure I
can't
didn't
even
like
recall
it.
it, so I mean, maybe it just wasn't catchy for you.
Yeah, it didn't appeal to my tastes, which is what more people need to say instead of just plain old it shit.
Maybe you're like me, and every time you hear Rainbow Dash's voice, you just kind of tune out, and then you forget it.
You just zone out as soon as you hear Rainbow Dash.
I zone out as soon as I hear it. I just immediately kind of disconnect. No longer can hear anything.
It's to save yourself the pain. I understand.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you understand.
Um,
Oh man, what was the other villain that we had to talk about? I don't remember the name of him because it's from that one movie, the last. No, not the one. Yeah.
there's actually 3 more villains on my list.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm saying for the movie wise,
For you
because
mean
there was
oh yeah. So
the camp one. I don't remember her fucking name.
does anyone else remember their
Gloriosa
names?
Daisy?
Both their names. Both their names. I want
Daisy.
full. Gloriosa Daisy
And Timber Spruce.
well done, Sky. I'm proud of you.
I thought Timber Spruce was a good guy.
Timber Spruce
He's
is a good
bit
guy, but
in the middle.
he was a bad guy at the start. Like they thought he was the bad guy, so he acted like a bad guy.
He
I
was
don't
just
know.
suspiciously doing stuff to try to cover up for his sister,
Yeah.
Fair enough.
who was actually the bad person.
All right, one more time. Run the name by me so I don't forget it.
Sky?
Gloriosa Daisy.
Gloriosa Daisy. All right.
Timber
I know
Spruce.
Timber Spruce. I can remember that.
Timber Spruce.
All right.
Villain.
We lost
What
Sky.
is Sky's fucking dead. That's
Yeah,
up.
Sky just died. Oh, he's back.
Welcome back, Sky.
Are you? You right there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, you never left. It's fine. So I'm sure you're ready to talk about what you think of Gloriosa Daisy then.
She's an interesting character. She's got a lot in common with I can't remember the name of the character. It was from an old movie I saw. Uh Dang, I can't make a pop culture reference right now. It's a very typical case of wanting to do good and it just getting corrupted. Good intentions gone wrong. There we go.
I want to
Corrupted
do
kindness.
good things.
Yeah, just
It's like Starlight.
not really though.
I just said it
Not
because I knew you
really.
would disagree.
She's actually got good intentions instead of, hey, I'm just gonna steal all this stuff.
Equality, though, Sky. Communism is the ideal.
The idea the idea fueling it is not a good one. Maybe the intent at the end that got twisted into it is something that you could try for, but don't. Just don't.
No, I only said it because you're here. Don't worry. If we had a different person on, I wouldn't have brought it up.
But yeah, she's got a good design. Her heart was in the right place. Not a lot of thinking things through, and she did make a
Classic.
big mess.
Classic case of the ends justifying the means.
Yeah.
I did sympathise with her because she's had this camp for ages, and then there's just some rich bastard that just wants to buy it and turn it
Some
into
rich
a
bastard.
mall
The
or
real
something.
problem here is capitalism, you see.
Good lord. First we got Starlight, now we got this. And then we've got Fame and Misfortune saying, maybe this money, maybe all this fame and money isn't good for them. I'm starting to feel like this show is just communist propaganda.
Exactly.
See, Gloriosa was the one villain that I'm willing to just forgive, like, out of nowhere, because she had an actual justifiable reason to do the dumb shit she did. Like, it wasn't something stupid like, hey, I want power, or hey, I don't know what this does, let's just fuck around with it.
I want a
She had
crown to
every-
go enslave Equestria.
Yeah, I'm just gonna brainwash high school students and conquer the world. Because they're so competent at being a war force.
Yeah, nah. Definitely one of the better villains that's not actually a villain, I would say, in the show.
Yep.
And movie. Yeah.
What about you, Wob? Where do your opinions lie on Gloriosa?
She's also crazy. But besides that,
Also crazy. What makes her crazy?
she went mad with power. One thing I have to complain about is that all the freaking like equestrian magic artifacts are for some reason hitting up all the people who are potentially unhinged or on the precipice of becoming insane. Or rather, not insane, vulnerable is probably the right word.
It gives them a little push to like take the extra step and be a bad person.
I mean, I'm just gonna say this. At least Wallflower Blush found a memory stone instead of a Glock.
Oh, man.
Oh man, yeah.
Bringing that one up, I see. Are we gonna have an edit of the backpack meme now as well?
Oh, multiple of those, yeah. But that's sorry. That's a different villain. Back to Gloriosa and well, what do you reckon about Timber Spruce as well? What did you think of him being introduced? What did you think about? Let's just go ahead and. What do you think about the ship between Timber Spruce and Saitoi?
He's another freaking love interest. I like Flash Sentry because he's actually cool. Timber isn't cool.
He's actually cool. Did you just say you like Flash Sentry because he's actually cool?
He looks cool and he acts cool.
Is this satire?
This is answer. I can't tell. Hang on.
I need to make sure.
Flash Sentry.
Somebody actually liking Flash? What?
So if
He's
you
got
got
a sweet car.
if you got transported into the Equestria Girls universe and you woke up and you were just like, holy shit, I'm Flash Sentry, you'll be fine with that.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I need a yes or a no here, Wob.
At least you would know magical talking horses exist. If I was someone else, I'd be like, what the hell is all this? Or I'd just be a regular person.
You just wake up as Flash Sentry and be like, wait a minute, and just beeline it for the fucking portal. I need to find my wife.
I think that's exactly what Wob would do.
That's a brilliant idea. Thank you for giving me that.
Wob, as soon as he gets sent to Equestria Girls, will just take a fucking running start for the portal. That's the first thing he's gonna do.
He wouldn't even check if it's open. He'll just run straight for that statue, whether it's open or closed. He's either gonna die from the concussion or get sent through. He'll be happy with either.
Are you saying you wouldn't do that?
I can't fault him here.
Would you do the same, Spone?
I mean, probably. I can't fault the man.
But Lyra in this universe has hands, which is not capitalized on.
Who cares?
Who cares?
We don't care. She cares. She's the one who likes the hands.
She's the one that likes the hands. You don't like
I'm not the one who likes the hands.
Yeah, to be fair, here everyone has hands. You're not special. You go over to
Exactly.
fucking Ponyville. You're the one with the hands.
I'm the one with the I'm the one with hands.
Okay.
I'm the one who knocks.
Juniper Montage. I'm guessing only Sky. What? Do you know who this is?
Yeah,
Yes,
she's the
I
one
do.
from the Daring Do one.
Yeah. So she's the one
The daring do one.
that finds the evil mirror and zaps everyone in it to rot and die. It was a bit of a weird one. What do you guys think of her? Do you just throw her in the back of your minds? Is she even a villain in your eyes? Is she on the same level as the others? I'll give this one to Sky first.
My one thought of this is, why are we doing this again? And
The
didn't we
podcast as a
already do
whole,
this twice?
people ask that weekly.
No, like, didn't we already do this twice already with the whole turning into a giant monster thing and trying to
One more time. One more
screw
time.
with people's life yet again?
We need more giant monsters because giant signifies power.
Actually, we did it 3 times because Gloriosa as well.
Well, we're doing it again.
She didn't turn into a
man.
monster though, did she?
Yeah, she did. She had a demon form.
What? The Juniper?
Yeah, Juniper
think
had
you-
a demon form.
When was this?
It
think
was
you-
purely inside of the thing created from the mirror. Well, no, actually she trapped the main 6 plus Sunset inside the mirror, and she then turned into a giant demon and fought Starlight, which was rather entertaining because she turned into what is basically a very Las Vegas presenter, like a Las Vegas dancer style character. It was a bit weird
I'm gonna
and
be honest.
unexpected, but
I think that short, or I guess more or less not short.
Episode, yeah.
Yeah, that one is one of the ones I don't remember the best.
it was underwhelming. Yeah.
They did leave
yeah,
an
I
impact.
remember watching it, and that's about it.
What about you? Do you actually remember this? Firstly, is this something that you can recall?
Yeah, the Juniper Montage one. She was really selfish and a jerk. All she wanted was like the lead role, if I remember it correctly. And because she didn't get that, she decides, hey, I'm gonna trap everyone in this freaking mirror, and they almost died pretty much. Like
They did almost.
they were
die.
about to be dropped into a void. I think that's what was said earlier, and
Yeah.
that would have probably been very unpleasant.
Oh, holy shit! I just remembered she was in 2 shorts, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yes, she
Okay.
was in most of them.
Yeah. No, she was in that movie one, but then she was also in the one like afterwards where they're like at the mall and she's working as like the movie theater person. Yeah.
I believe she also showed up in one more of them, but it was just a background role. Like she was.
She showed up
cameoing
in
to an extent.
Mirror Magic.
Dude, she
Yeah,
like shows
there
up
we
in
go.
all of them, man. What is this? Do we have a new like main character at this point?
Not really.
That's a joke, I know.
Why did she get kicked off the acting job? I forgot what she did.
Because she was trying to she was trying to have the lead role or
She was
whatever, so
sabotaging the main actor.
yeah. She was sabotaging shit so that
So
other
she
person would
wasn't the
leave.
lead actor and was sabotaging the lead actor because of it.
Yeah, she wanted that person to leave, so like she was sabotaging everything.
Okay.
And then everyone found out, and it was like, aha, it was you all along, and they had a Scooby-Doo moment, and then
I actually really liked. I like those. I like the Tales of Candle High. I thought they were really well done. They left me feeling quite pleasant. I enjoyed the 3 of them put together more than definitely the Equestria Girls, definitely Friendship Games, maybe Legend of Everfree, but I don't know.
maybe.
They were pretty high there.
There's one more villain that I can think of, unless I'm missing one.
There's one more on my list. Depends what you're gonna say.
What was that?
There's one more on my list as well, so probably.
Oh, okay. Okay. I wanted to make sure that I'm not like missing one.
Well,
Carry on, you're good.
yeah, I thought you sound like you're gonna take this away. Just go ahead and
Oh,
say
well,
what's on
fine.
your
You
mind.
want me? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, I'll take it away. Fucking yeah. Wallflower. She was a thing. I personally thought that she was a bad villain. I can kind of understand, but also like it was kind of garbage as a villain. I think she wasn't really evil, which isn't bad, but also it was just kind of underwhelming because it was like, oh, I'm gonna do all this, but then they talk to her and it's like, oh, okay.
Well,
Honestly, she's another moment of power getting to your head in the same sense that Gloriosa was. Maybe not in quite the same context. She wasn't trying to do good by anyone, but she also wasn't trying to be evil for the sake of being evil.
Yeah.
More so a misguided person who was given power and then they do some questionable things with it. If you do look closer at like the ending scenes where she has the fight with the main 6, when she does try to like extract all the memories from Sunset, like every single one of her memories, you can watch her face as it slowly turns from anger to disgust and finally to terror at what she's doing. She just has this little moment
Yeah.
of epiphany that what she's doing is just horrible, and maybe you
Yeah.
should not.
I don't think she was much of a villain. More so, it was like, I'm gonna do this, but then as soon as she started doing it, she's like, oh wait, no, I want to take it back.
mistakes have been
Yeah.
made. Before I give my opinions on the topic, I'll give Bob a chance to speak on this. What do you think of Wallflower? Did you like her?
I think her power was one of the most cruelest of all.
Oh yeah, I know.
I would rather be physically harmed than forgotten by everyone I cared about.
Yeah, that would be pretty fucking savage. Like,
Time
imagine
to
just going on this
insert-
server one day and no one knows who the fuck you are.
What?
Like imagine just going on the server one day and no one knows who you are.
That's fine by me. I'm okay with that. It
You
means I could finally leave.
Even T6.
Nah, he can't forget.
But what
I'll
if
have
he
him write it
does?
down.
You'll
I'll
have
have him
him
write
write
it
it down. By the way, Spone is your boyfriend. Just remember that.
By the way,
That's just a post-it note above his bed.
It was a good
Man.
crossover with pony mythology too. And
oh
the
yeah,
world.
I really like how they did connect it with the Pony World. I felt like that was a good
Yeah, this was this
play
this is
on
quite
their
a lot
part.
of people's. This was quite a lot of people's favorite Equestria Girls thing. What made it that?
Because it tied in with the show. That was it. That was the whole reason.
It tied in with the show, but it didn't make it canon, did it? It
I
just
mean, it
in
tied
with
into the Pony World. Like, I mean,
Equestria, yeah.
that's
They
why
should
everyone
do
liked
that
it.
more.
They should do that
The
more.
less,
I
the
mean,
less.
it was the most recent thing, and honestly, Equestria Girls as a whole has gotten better over time. So to the point where I'm excited for the next thing, and I'm actually looking forward to the next thing they do with it.
Yeah, no, I would say that I'm looking forward to see what they have in store.
What do people want from the future of Equestria Girls?
Less Equestria Girls, more horses.
I'll throw this to Wob first.
First of all, I agree with Spone. And
Yes.
You
second,
just want Equestria Girls to be friendship is magic. Then you'll be
I want
happy.
Equestria Girls to be horses, and then it will be okay.
and to have more Lyra.
Oh, yes, see? No, I can't argue now. Lob's good.
But what I really want to see is an expansion on their powers, and probably what I'm figuring is going to happen is that they're going to turn Equestria Girls into like a superhero show of some sort. Maybe they'll go in that direction.
Can you elaborate on that? I don't really get what you mean.
Well, right now you have what, 6 girls with transforming suits, superpowers. They're probably going to find other people out there who are going to have similar powers eventually. Maybe even sirens, say, find their own sort of gems that will grant them back a measure of their powers and maybe newer powers. And they could have, episodic adventures or fights or even a movie lengthwide, struggle against them.
I'm waiting for the Equestria Girls crossover with the Avengers.
Maybe that could happen.
That's what I've taken. Oh, God.
We can't say anything because half the people here haven't even seen it.
I'm done shit posting. Don't just keep going. Talk about Equestria Girls. Go.
Sky, what do you reckon? What do you want from the future? Either from Sunset Shimmer or just direction of the show or whatever.
We need more crossovers with the show. We need more of the show lore leaking in. We need more of the world explored. We need Sideswipe to grow a character. We need a good bit of everything, to be honest. Like, anything you add to this show is going to improve it greatly. There is nothing except for repeating what we've already done multiple times and adding more demons to the mix is just going to improve it. And they did have a very good plot hook at the end of Camp Everfree with stuff leaking out of the portal, which could mean many things. I would also very much like to see Sunset properly return to the Pony world and maybe get replaced by a human counterpart of her own, but
Not gonna happen, Sky.
can dream.
Get your wish fulfillment
human
out.
Sunset and human Starlight must exist. Everyone exists, isn't it? So I
That's
think they
one of the
could
big
tie that in.
questions. What is going on with her?
We don't-
Maybe she just
We'll never
killed
know.
her on the first time she arrived.
She
It's like,
came
"I'm
in, saw
taking your
herself, and
place."
just killed them. You don't exist now. Like, it goes into like the new movie or whatever, and then it like ends, and it just like zooms in on like a gravestone, and she's like standing over it.
In the rain,
Smoking
just
a
holding the
cigarette.
bloody knife, just completely emotionless eyes. That's
There
how it
can only
ends.
be one.
There was a great comic from one of the fandom artists who had Twilight was asking what if you had a counterpart and Sunset was just shrugging it off, and then you have an extra panel with like a skeleton and with cement boots in the middle of a lake somewhere with like her hair and her jacket. Grim.
That is exactly how I imagine this going. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing, although it's not confirmed, like G4 is ending in a year and a half ish. I'm guessing Equestria
Wow.
Girls is probably going
Way
to
to
end.
spoil it for everyone.
It's not even a spoiler by this point. Um, what do you want to see done? Like, the show's obviously going to type it in its own way. How would you want Equestria Girls to tie up?
They can stop right now. It's good.
Let's just stop. Finish.
No, it's good where it is right now. It doesn't need to go on anymore. It doesn't need to tie anything up. It's fine.
Did you honestly believe that? Because I can respect an opinion where it's just, oh, it's like a side series. They have their own adventures. Nothing has to be tied up. They just stop having adventures. I can respect that opinion, but I can't tell
Yeah,
if you're just shitting me.
honestly, no, honestly, I don't really think it needs to be tied up or anything. It's been a side series. It doesn't really need a conclusion or anything. Like it already feels like it just has a conclusion every time the newest movie ends.
All
I'm
right.
gonna disagree with Spone and say that it does need a tie-up because it is a series of its own at this rate. Sure, it's movies and shorts.
Sky
But
he just likes Sunset.
no, I like the AQG series in general, not just because of her. It has its redeeming qualities. They could very well tie it up with everyone just moving on from high school, like college and stuff. Sunset going
They
back to
grow up.
Ponyland.
They
Yeah, they grow
die.
up.
You just want Sunset back in Ponyland. Come on.
I do, but there
I
are
want
a
it tied up.
tie it up.
All right. How about if I said they don't need to tie up, but they can have like Sunset just show up in the show?
I mean, she kind of did in the
But
shorts.
yeah. But would that be acceptable if she was just back in the show then, as like a background?
The
90%
cutie
of the
map
time.
just has Sunset's cutie mark on it, and Twilight's just looking at it like, what the fuck?
I mean, maybe I would be happy with any Sunset we get. Doesn't matter if she's in the show or in EQG. It's just the more the better.
Yeah, fair enough. And I feel like they could sum it up and do that, but it would feel bad, I think, to just sum it up like, oh, they moved on and there they went with their lives.
All right. Is there anything else anyone likes to add, or Dan Stark, considering you're our only listener right now?
I'm waiting for Bob. I want to hear what you think they need to be wrapped up or not.
If you want his opinion, we can get that.
If we want his, that's the whole reason he's here, NG.
I didn't invite him, but all right, Bob.
I have many opinions. So, on topic opinions.
Well, I wanted to know what you thought about
What do you think about
the
lasagna?
Equestria Girls. Do you think Equestria Girls needs to be wrapped up, or do you think that it could die off and people would be okay?
I don't think it's going to die off or that it's going to be killed. They'll probably continue.
Well, I don't think it is either. But
Right
yeah.
into like G5,
Do you think they'll continue it past G5?
probably.
They could tie it into G5.
it could be G5.
I mean,
Dear Lord. That's terrifying.
Yep. All right. Well, I mean, unless people have some other things they want to bring up, I think that is it for topics that we had.
Yeah, so I've just got something in mind to finish this up. If you don't mind, Spone. I'm gonna ask
Shoot.
Wob specifically. Do a TLDW of this entire podcast, previous hour and 40 minutes. How would you summarize this?
Yes.
There we have
There
it.
you go.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you, Sky. Thank you, Wob, for coming. And I'll go ahead and end this here.
Yay.